Good evening. Tonight we're with Sarah Feldkamp. Sarah is running for the 3rd District County Commissioner position in Nemaha County, and we're going to ask her a few questions about her race and what she feels are the important issues that we have in Nemaha County, and how she would resolve some of these issues. So in order to allow the voters of Nemaha County to get to know the candidates that are running for the commissioner seats, the Nemaha County Republican Party is holding this interview of the candidates. I'd like to say that Nemaha County is a close community of friends and neighbors. Each candidate needs to get their message out to the voters as clearly as possible without attacking each other in an unprofessional manner. By asking questions of the candidates, we felt it imperative to have these candidates give their thoughts and opinions on several issues of importance to the voters. The first question tonight is on wind and solar energy. Sarah, Nemaha County has gone through an expansion of wind energy generation in the past 4 years, with 120 wind turbines installed in the southern area of the county. There are 45 new agreements between Wetmore and Goff waiting to be developed for more wind turbines. The question is, do we allow more turbines, or do we curtail that number to what we have?
We curtail that number to what we have. That is the simple answer. I don't feel that this is a road that is best for our county, and I'd like to see some measures put into place to not continue down that road.
Do you support corporations using eminent domain for the expansion of transmission lines through our county? Eminent domain being the taking of land through adverse effects.
I do not support that. Our county is highly agricultural. There are landowners. Their land has been in generational families. I think it could be devastating to some people to have corporations make those moves, and I do not support it.
Okay. What's your opinion of the 3-mile radius around Seneca and Sabetha with no turbines or solar energy farms allowed?
My opinion is it's a great first step to protecting our urban communities. Specifically, we have to remember that every community has a hope to expand and grow. And if we don't have some kind of radius around our communities, there's absolutely, we're stifling our growth almost immediately. So we need some of that buffer space to ensure that we have that potential to possibly grow in the future. More housing projects and such. So.
Okay. Thank you. The next topic is on the county administrator. In 2023, the commissioners hired the county administrator. His duties include working with the county officials to manage and implement new programs and initiatives, as well as support and manage unelected personnel with payroll, healthcare, human resources, budget issues, and county expenditures, as well as find state and federal grants, and adding accountability to our county workforce. Sarah, do you believe that the county administrator is a warranted position?
So that is a tough question with anything new. I was even one of those people 10, 15 years ago that was so conservative about spending that I at one time thought we didn't need a rec director. Come to find out, within the first few weeks we had a rec director. It was the best thing we could do for our community, for our kids, and so I was wrong. And I don't want to say that it's not needed until I see some kind of results. I do think his salary could be made up by him applying for grants. I mean, in my mind, I just keep thinking grants, grants, grants. If he has, if he's full-time and he can find grants for our community that help our community grow and help the people in our community, he may be worth more than the salary. It depends on what he does. So I think we need to watch it play out for a little bit.
Okay. So if his duties are warranted, would you vote to cut your salary as a county commissioner and shift that part of your salary to the administrator?
I can see that I thought about that already, and the answer is yes. It depends on how much burden is placed onto me if I were to get into this role. If he does most of the heavy lifting, and I've never done this role before, so I don't really know what it will entail, but if I find that he makes my life very easy, I think that could be appropriate.
Okay. Thank you. The next topic is the county road and bridge. One of Nemaha County's most important duties is to maintain our road and bridges and allow commerce and the travel of our citizens in a safe manner. It's the largest expenditure to our county budget. Sarah, what are your thoughts on prioritizing maintenance and repairs of our roadways?
So I did look that up, and I did see it was the largest, one of the largest spending things we have to spend on for our county. And it's appropriate based on the fact that we're an ag county. We have a lot of we also have a lot of businesses that have a lot of heavy equipment going up and down the roads. It's important that we have safe bridges due to that reason. Can you give me what'd you say at the last part of that question?
For the maintenance and repairs of our roadways. Okay.
The appropriate.
Okay.
More or less, the priority needs to be understanding that we are a heavy equipment operating county with the things we do. It has to be top priority because that's the safety of our people.
Okay, with it being the county's largest expenditure, are there ways to improve the efficiency with the funds we currently devote to this department?
Well, again, being that I have not held a role as a county commissioner before, that is a little difficult for me to answer, but I would have to say that I do understand there to be grants. I looked up that there was, I think it's called an SS4A grant, brand new. I don't know if our county took advantage of it, but it was something where the county works with KDOT and they break down fatalities or issues with some of the things that have happened with, dangerous situations in our county with the roads. So I think good communication with KDOT and taking advantage of grants if we can find them. Good communication overall in terms of planning is going to help cut costs.
Okay, thank you. Our next topic is housing and partnerships with the cities. Nemaha County has a shortage of younger qualified working adults. We have a shortage of affordable housing and areas to develop residential subdivisions in our cities and in our rural areas. To increase our tax base, we need more employment of families within our county, paying taxes and adding to our financial base. Do you believe that the county should partner with resources with communities in developing land and infrastructure costs for rural and urban subdivisions to increase affordable housing for new citizens that work within our county?
Well, I do, and I think what the problem always is there's two forces pushing against each other. We can't draw new people to our community if we don't have affordable housing. Nobody's going to move here if we don't have the jobs. Everything kind of comes full cycle. I think we need to be working with our community members. We need to maybe be advertising and marketing ourselves to get developers to come in, and doing things that will help expand affordable housing. Just market ourselves. You see things on TV all the time, and I don't know much about them, but they say, oh, come to, I don't know, Greeley, Oregon, and you will get $10,000 just to come here. I'm not saying we should do that, but there's marketing behind what they're doing. They are trying to draw people in, And we need to get creative and figure out how to do that.
The next question is on the budget, property and sales tax. Currently, Nemaha County has a budget of $15 million for 2024, with the estimated 2025 budget projected at over $16 million. In 2023, the taxes, which are a half of 1% on sales tax, brought in $1,413,000. This year, to compile the 2024 real estate taxes, the county assessed value is down by $905,000 due to ag land use values declining, which is the first decline in the last 10 years. The mill levy for the county is currently 36 mills, with a projected mill levy going up to 42 mills, or about 6 mills, additional 6 mills. Where are you going to come up with a shortfall in the taxes with a budget that is growing due to the inflation rates caused by the federal administration's spending?
Okay, so that question's tough, because basically it's saying you have to increase the mill levy or cut corners or cut programs in our county, and neither of those are things anybody would want to do. Typically, we don't want to increase a mill levy if we're trying to. I think they would decrease a mill levy if we had rising property costs, typically, is my understanding, something along those lines. So it doesn't make sense to decrease, or, I mean, to increase it with already rising property costs would probably not make sense. And then as far as the programs go, I don't know that there's room to cut any programs. I can't say that there is. So I just kind of keep going back to saying we need to find avenues to produce more tax revenue. And I think that has to be a big conversation. And I just keep going back to it because I don't want to raise the mill levy and I don't want to cut the county programs. So with that said, in my mind, where I immediately go is that we need to find ways to drum up more tax revenue for our county. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay. Yeah, I think you answered the next question. So the final question is, if elected, Sarah, can you tell the voters of Nemaha County why you're running for the county commissioner position and what is your vision for the county?
Okay. So when I gave my speech on the 18th, I was pretty clear on my vision of the county, and I'll repeat some of that now. One thing I didn't say is that I want this county, as a mother still, many of us are, I want my children to come home. So my vision for the county is to make the county a place where my children want to come back to, where they come back here and there are things for them to do. There are opportunities for jobs. There is housing they can afford. I think that's a dream for probably any county, for any community, and that dream shouldn't be any different for Nemaha County. So that is where what I want to strive towards. I have a lot of ideas to bring new businesses to the community. I'd like to touch on one of them, which is childcare. I think that there are some things we could do to not only help the childcare situation, but also have people, those are brand new businesses starting in our county. One thing I touched on was education is power. There's a lot of people where if they knew about how to start a childcare, in-home childcare day, childcare services, they might be more partial to doing that. Get somebody from the state to come into the library, pay somebody, the county can pay somebody, have them come to the library, do a free meeting where people can come in. They'll learn things they maybe didn't know. For example, in-home daycare, some of your utilities, some of the cost of running your electric, your water, some of your taxes. You get tax breaks for running an in-home business. Things that people maybe don't realize. Have someone come into our communities educate people on doing that. Another thought is do a grant. If you open a daycare, just a pilot grant, if you open a daycare, at the end of 3 years, if you stay open for 3 years, maybe the county can give you a grant and say, hey, here's $5,000. Sounds like we're giving away $5,000, but we're also collecting taxes on new businesses, so it could be a wash. It's a motivator. Say, hey, I'm going to open a daycare. 3 years from now, I might get a grant check for $5,000 if I do that. In the meantime, are we really losing $5,000? Probably not. We're probably going to collect some of that back in taxes. And in the meantime, we're starting new businesses in our communities by somebody having an in-home daycare. And in the meantime, on top of that, we're providing a service. People are dying around here, unable to work. They can't even find daycare. So there are small things we can do to at least incentivize and educate people to start those businesses and to possibly want to open a daycare. I think there's all kinds of things that should be talked about, and I hope I have a chance to keep talking about them. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Sarah. I hope you found this dialogue with the candidates to be informative, and I invite you, the voters, to contact the candidates for further information. Thank you.